What's up, y'all? This is Team Edifye. A little bit of a round table, a little bit of a break room. Just breaking down a couple of questions, a couple of things that are on folks' minds. I think that I can speak for myself personally, as Steven, the director of development at Edify, being able to see Jake, and for that matter, being able to see Pauly as leaders, as people in their own words, given their own perspectives. I think that's incredibly valuable as a movement tool, as a spiritual tool. Um, Folks want to hear what both of you gentlemen have to say. So we got Pauly Jackson, the president of Team Edify, and we got Jacob Blake, the reason why Team Edify has been assembled. My name is Steven, and let's get right into it. Bro, who is Jacob Blake? What does that mean?
Oh man, it means a lot. You already said two names. Middle name is Steven. It's another title. Jacob Blake is a father, but I'm also a son. I'm a brother. And what's cool, I'm an uncle, also a nephew, you know. And then I have things that I've done through my life, my so-called career path, trying to find my way. I've been a baker. I've done car maintenance. I've done a lot of things, man. I've done carpentry. I'm gonna cut it short, but you know, the funny thing about that's who Jacob Blake is. God also holds a lot of titles as well. That's the funny thing about it. We get so tied up in who we are, trying to find out who we are. With all these titles, we can get confused through life, you know. It's funny you asked that. I like that question. Who is Jacob Blake?
Pauly, who is Jacob Blake, your brother, in your opinion, your words?
First of all, good afternoon, folks. But to jump right into it, yeah, Jacob is to me. So I'm very big on perspective. So different people will have different lights on who Jacob Blake is. But Jacob Blake, to me, one is what the English dictionary would like to call a brother. To myself, a pillar of strength for me, someone that I use every day to push myself through life and its trials, tribulations, its triumphs. Someone that I use as sort of a fuel or so to speak, a source of mineral, vitamin, to feed my energy, and my work and my love and my strength, yeah, that's the role that he plays to me. To others, like he said, he's a father, brother, cousin, uncle, a friend to many, and also a pillar in his community and around the world as well.
Team Edify was just down in Alabama, standing with the incarcerated workers in that state, and man, the chills people get to just hear your name, Jake. People are convinced that you survived, that you're here, that you're on screen right now for a reason, and it's cool to watch you over the past couple of years really own that and really try to polish that, figure out what that reason is, what people are looking for. And let me ask you on that note, like, what can you provide people now in terms of perspective or in terms of material stuff? Like, what does your presence give people, in your opinion?
Material things, it's not really a focus, but it is a thing. You know, us as humans, we get attached to things, you know, people. I do want to provide that one day for people and children who have not, you know, but at 31 years old, you know, one might say that's not that old, but when you really sit down and think about where you've been in life, the things you've done, and you realize that you got know-how when it comes to certain situations. Like now, I ran into a guy who had gotten shot and he was paralyzed from the waist down. And, you know, he was outside. I called him over to me, and just talking to him, I seen him come alive. And he was telling me nobody ever really talked to him about it. And he didn't feel comfortable talking about it. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to find him again, but I believe that one interaction might have helped him open up, because sometimes you do need to talk about what happened to you in order to heal. Because if you holding things in, what happens? It's gonna fester. You're probably gonna end up hating somebody, whoever has done what they did to you, you know. But that interaction alone let me know, oh, I see what people are talking about. You know, it felt so good, bro, that I just wanted to ride around and do that as much as I could, you know, but I'm not always feeling good. Thank God I'm here to be able to talk today. I'm getting on top of that, and I'm feeling better. Don't get it twisted. Every time y'all see me, I may be going through something different. Like I hit my knee the other day. That was bothering me. So I'm still human, like everybody else. I'm healing. You know, I'm not special human abilities. Everybody, you calling me Superman. The Superman is Jehovah. That's the Superman. You know, when you're able, hold on, I'm getting off track. You asked, what do I have to provide? I feel like I have a lot of insight on life, bro, and love to give. I have a lot of love to give, and I gotta watch how I'm praying on God to, you know, put some armor over my heart, so I learn how not to give that out too much, you know, because if you're pouring your cup out and nobody's filling it up, although I do have somebody that's filling my cup up, we exchange each other, but, you know, you still want to make sure you got balance. And that's something I didn't have in the beginning. And it was tearing me apart, really. I was really going through it for the first year. My first year, it was heavy. You know, the guy with the world on his shoulders.
Atlas. Yeah.
You know, the statue.
Yeah.
I was feeling like
Atlas,
and it wasn't like I'm supporting the world. It was like I got all of the sadness and turmoil and grief. I got all of that right here. And it's almost because everybody's like, man, you survived, you special. It's all it is. Like, I'm not special, first of all. I am special. And everybody is. I want to get back to that, because as kids, I remember people raising us like, oh, you're not special, but meaning to say you're no more important than everybody else. So everybody is special. Everybody has something to provide, period. Just like you're asking me what it is I have to bring to the table. I can't tell you everything right now. Use me. Use me. Just don't misuse me. And that's with everybody. I have friends and family that I use, but I don't misuse my people. You understand me? And that's how the world is. I'm a tool. I'm here to not only help this earth, the environment, but the people that are in it, the humans, the animals. I done became an animal lover. Bro, like you got to really talk to somebody that's had a near-death experience. And it'll blow you away when you get to talking to them, especially if they totally messed up. And you'll be like, wow, they didn't break your spirit. But that's what it is, man. We are spirit beings. This right here is a shell. My body, my temple. Yeah. But I got a lot.
You've mentioned your faith a lot. Is there a moment in the past 2 years, over the past 2 years and counting, where you lost your faith? Have there been any moments where your faith has surprised even yourself?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Before this happened, I want to mention that because I gotta mention it because a lot of people be like, "Oh, Jake, you this or you was that." Bro, we all change. If you don't change, you are stagnant. When I was 11 years old, I was a certain way. When I was 21, I was a certain way. I'm 31 now. If I was anything like I was when I was 21 or 11, there's a problem. I mean, all of us, we still always got like our inner child. You're supposed to hold on to that. I don't care what nobody say, whether you got kids or not. Because to be honest, if you too prideful, look at yourself like, I ain't got to look up to nobody, your inner child is probably gone.
It's the purest, most unedited version of yourself.
Yeah. Almost angel-like. That's why they say when you're a child, you're an angel. And it says in the Bible, don't quote me if I don't say it right, but we're supposed to embrace the kingdom of heaven like children, And as a father, bro, even before this happened, I was bowing down to God. Praise God. I get down, put my head on the carpet. But I'll be honest and upfront, because of social media, social peer pressure, and not knowing, ignorance, should I say, niggatry, because anybody can be a nigga, that's ignorance. I didn't read a book that I talked so much about, and it was common. So I didn't feel like, oh, you just talking out the side of your head. Well, I'm hearing things that everybody's saying, and I'm seeing pictures they show when I grow up. You see white Jesus, it's going to make you think, like, shit, am I praising the right God? Because they don't even like me. You know what I'm saying? And it can mess you up as you're growing up if you don't know right. And it's poison. That's what I'm gonna call it.
So
society can be poison to you, bro. Go ahead, what you was about to say, because I'm getting off track again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at what point do you remember of yourself starting to lose that faith, and what did you do to regain that faith or to reinvigorate that faith? Just for people that, sometimes they feel as if things are going all the way bad for them, but they need a way to kind of reinvigorate that faith. What would Jacob tell them in a time of need?
I was so desperate. I was hurting at my lowest. That's what it was. Desperation. When there's nobody else that can help you. No human. No amount of money. No amount of fame. not a drug. So you got to reach out for something higher, something that you, especially growing up as a child. I mean, I went to church. Moms had us in church. You know what I'm saying? Pauly used to put the candles out at his church. You know, I learned a lot. Daniel's mom used to bring the stuff to school for Hanukkah. Snapping. I love that. You know, I was primed already, and a lot of us are. We know who, everybody knows who God is. Demons know who God is. We know there's a God. You can't. Even people that say they don't believe in God, they know there's a God. They just in self-denial. It's kind of scary, especially if you feel like you cannot be forgiven. And that's something that I felt like too. I feel like you can't be forgiven. You can't kill somebody and be forgiven for that. It's eye for an eye, blood for blood. You know what I'm saying? It say that in the Old Testament. You know, and that's kind of
Let me ask then, Jake, how do you forgive? How do you forgive yourself, and how do you forgive the folks, the officer that did this to you? And can you understand why people would be slow to forgive or not trust the idea of forgiveness as you understand it?
Man. Well, being done wrong is not something new to me. You know, I've been through a lot. Not to sit here and be like, oh, I'm a victim, you know, but I don't find it that hard to forgive. Even if the other party hates me, I don't care. I'm going to forgive it because I want to move forward from that. I don't want to live in what happened to me. I'm going to let what happened to me develop who I always was destined to be. And it's also what I didn't know, which people constantly hammering on me like, dude, you, like Pauly just said, that blows me away in the beginning. Every time somebody says something about me, because I'm not used to hearing that. Man. I hear it from my mom. That's moms. Moms love you. I mean, my mom, she ain't one of them moms that be in your corner even if you're wrong. I mean, she in my corner no matter what, but she gonna tell me if I'm right or wrong. But, you know, not really hearing it, and especially from people that don't know me. People that don't know me usually looking at me suspect. They don't know me. This is a large book. Come open it up. Talk to me. People be blown away. There's so many people in Wisconsin that actually, they don't know me, but they've ran into me, and people have conversations with me. And you know something? What's blowing me away, I know that's how I know my aura was changing in the last 2 years before this happened. Random people would just talk to me. I walk out the store, but come out of the laundromat like, wow, okay. Maybe I was smiling, because I don't smile a lot until I get to talking. You know, whether it be sunny outside or I'm thinking, you know, I'm not mad. Oh, forgiveness. How did I forgive? My mom taught me to forgive. That's another thing. That was primed on Pauly. Pauly, no. Forgiveness that you had to forgive. Wasn't none of that holding the grudge. Me and Pauly, we done, as brothers, we done bumped heads plenty of times, but we done went to sleep in the same room.
Did you struggle to, do you struggle to differentiate forgiveness for an individual, for one man, one person, versus forgiveness for an entire system like American policing that left you the way that in the situation that you were in, and other folks in the situations that they're in?
To forgive the institution. I don't hold nothing against the institution, but I know that it's very, I'm not going to say it's cracked because it's working great. Exactly how it was designed.
Yeah, this is not your first experience. This was not your first experience.
No, I had a picture that I wanted to show when I was 14 years old, but I was kind of sitting there thinking, should I show it? Should I show it? And I was going to show it. Well, I happened to switch rooms and it's out there. I'm not going to get it. So that means today wasn't the day. But yes, dude, I wanted to be a police officer. When I was 13 coming up, we had dare officers at our school riding old school cars. I wanted to be that. Bad Boys, the movie, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith. I wanted to be a detective. I wanted to move to Miami and do that. And then they kicked a 300-pound cop. Check this out. Before I say that, because people don't understand, man, it is racism involved with it, but the first cop that smashed my head in, you probably can't see it, and I got a mark right here that's still there. Thank God I healed from it, but it was a black cop that did that to me. Blacker than me. And every time I went to court, he's laughing. After it was over with, anytime I see him in the hood, he crack a smile. So it's like, how do I feel? How am I supposed to feel about it? Here's another thing. Guess what? I really haven't experienced a lot of racism, other than maybe from police. Yes, I've been in some trouble, only from police. They mess with you. And there will be no charges, but there'll be resisting arrest. Okay, so what was his charges for? Why did he resist arrest? What was he being arrested for? Oh, we just wanted to check him and he resisted. So he resisted arrest. And that's what you'll get charged for. But why were you being arrested?
For me,
And it's not new to me, bro. It's not new. I want to share another story. When I was 13, matter of fact, was my very first police contact. There was a little kid walking across the street. He had to have been like 7 years old. And the police walked up and started manhandling him in front of the high school, Pauly. So, you know, it was a big distance. I'm standing across the street on the smoking corner. And I was walking. I'm like, hey, that's a kid. Y'all ain't supposed to do that. It was a white shirt too, you know, the supervisor. He, keep it moving. I'm like, hey, y'all ain't supposed to be doing that. Y'all know he's a kid. Woo, woo, woo. Told you, woo, keep it moving. Start walking across the street, locked me up, long story short, took me to the police station, called my parents, had my dad come pick me up. Nothing happened. Stuff like that happens every day. That is terrorism. If you ask me, they terrorizing kids. That puts fear in your heart already. So when the police come, you might run, depending on what type of person you are. But like I said, it's not new to me. That cop that smashed my head in when I was 14, I forgave him. Another thing, I got shot. The guy tried to shoot me 7 times before this. Hit me a 1/4 inch away from my spine and went in and out. One time right here, almost the exact same thing, where you see my bullet hole, you be like, dang, you got shot more than 7 times. Nah, this is another shooting. Forgave that guy. No, I was mad until I went home and woke up and realized that I walked out the hospital looking at my clothes full of bullet holes. Legs would have been riddled with bullets. What is that, a triple beam? It's like a weight, or you know, it's like a weight. The triple beam, is that what it is?
Yeah, the scale. They're talking about the scale itself.
Scale.
Yeah.
That's what I do all day. I scale it out. And even if the bad outweighs the good, I'm still gonna take that and let that bad drop. let it drop. You gotta kind of be built like that coming from where we from. We from Evanston, but dude, Evanston is just as bad as everywhere else. It's drama going everywhere.
That's what I was gonna say,
built
man.
like that in
You
this
mentioned
world,
having
man.
you mentioned not having experienced racism outside of the police, and I feel like I have to push back on that, bro. Living in Evanston,
Ain't nobody. Hey, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying it's not out there. I haven't personally. I haven't been.
no,
Ain't
I'm
nobody
saying though,
pushed
but I'm
that,
saying that
nigga. Ain't nobody pushed that on me when I was younger or even as an adult. I ain't never really been pushed on that. Ain't nobody did that to me. And if they did it sneakingly.
Yeah,
Like
it don't
denying me for a job or the police jumping out on me, stuff like that, sneakingly. But I ain't never had nobody come in my face and say and talking crazy. Nah.
Yeah,
you don't think it's racism.
There's so many more layers of racism than just.
Oh yeah, there is. You're right. So yeah, I have.
That's what I mean. Like, you don't think you experience racism in a like private institution like Northwestern, mostly white people are not paying any property taxes to the city of Evanston, and all of that burden then falls to the largely black and brown families outside. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
That's
stuff
racism.
like that we wasn't into when I was living out there. I've been gone raising a family. I left when I was 21 years old. Okay. I was coming back and forth, but my mind is on kids. I got to remember birthdays. I got to remember doctor's appointments, dinner's appointments. I got to remember when I got to get to school. It's so much involved in being a full-time father. And I only have 3 kids. I got 2 other boys I raised from birth that the news don't report about. They don't report about none of that. I have 5 little boys I had out there. I'm still taking care of my kids the best of my ability, cutting hair when I can, still literally breaking my back, bro. I couldn't wait to come home. I left, honestly, I think I could have stayed in Shirley Ryan longer if I wanted to, cradle it, but I want to survive. I want to get up. They told me I couldn't, I can't walk. Yeah, I can't help me. I'm gonna go home. Let me find out how to walk.
The hospital, for reference, Shirley Ryan, that you were in after the shooting.
Oh, Shirley Ryan was a great hospital. Let me not get it twisted. But, bro, I was told when they told me that I could not walk. But what was you gonna ask me about it, Steven?
Well, I was just gonna explain to clarify that Shirley Ryan was the hospital that you were staying at. You know what I'm saying? To mention to people if someone's listening to this and they don't know what Shirley Ryan is.
Shirley
So
Ryan.
You know what I'm saying?
Downtown Chicago. Shout out to them. Great hospital. Smiles from everybody in there. I never felt like, especially everything that they were saying about me on the news. Nurses, everybody. Nurses, when they get a chance, the patient care techs, when they get a chance, you're nothing like they say. You're nothing like they say. And I'm like, man, thank you. Because this is the type of crap you see celebrities going through. People talking about them that don't even know them. Yeah. I finally experienced it. But it's cool. Because I already knew how to block that. And I had so much positivity coming my way that it drowned it out. Somebody inboxing me on Facebook telling me, talking crazy to me, how can that overpower me looking outside downtown Chicago and seeing people saying my name? And not to say like I'm bragging, but that uplifted me. I could hear it.
That shows a big point of the togetherness, right? Like, as many people as are looking to you for their signal of strength and pillar of strength, you found strength in the people pushing for you. And, I think you can speak a little bit about on how that saved your life, right? Like how you looking up and seeing people stand up for you, just like you literally are pushing to stand up for them, in your work, literally with your legs, how that kind of played out and how the people's strength gave you the strength.
First of all, I have a magnificent family. Thank God. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to them. Everybody's my family. Everybody. You love me, I love you, you my family. But when you look outside of that, because you already expect that from your family, you know, especially I wasn't in tune with everything that was going on with my family, but I made it to what I could make it to, you know, and the love didn't change, you know, over the years. So, but after looking outside of that, when you got people that don't know you, that's supporting you, and then on top of that, that NBA shutting down.
I think a big thing I want to circle back on as well is you know, the point you made about the first experience you had with the police officer, you know, the 300-pound guy. And we talked about the race, right? It's about a racism thing. I think that plays into the fact that him being the same, you know what I'm saying, culture as you, moving forward, him not understanding the value of your life. And that goes into what Steven was asking about the overall structure, right? If he could be someone that should be someone that values your life as you look like him, why is it that he took the initiative, or, you know, was trained or not trained to, you know, treat you that way? And, you know, I love to answer that, Steven, that's obviously a flaw in the system that was created, and not like Jacob said, not a flaw. It was designed that way to ingrain that type of hate, ingrain that type of rugged contact, that rugged fierceness, that these fierceness and fear that these police officers project. But overall, you know, I think from my perspective, Jacob, being a man of faith, leads with love. So the benefit of the doubt is often given by him when, you know, sometimes that perspective is screwed. And Jacob, you can piggyback off that, but I often think your perspective is blocked off by your love, which is not a negative thing at all. But as a human myself, it hurts me as well, right? Because I have these feelings, I have these thought processes, and I have, you know what I'm saying, my sight on how this system is built against us.
Well,
do you see that affecting you at times where so much of your love is pouring out that, you know what I'm saying, that you feel like sometimes your thought process is screwed on American policing?
No, because it's screwed. It's messed up. I'm not going against that. You know, I'm not going against the grain with anything. I just forgive them. I don't mess with the police. You ain't gonna see me high fiving with them. I'm mad enough. I would talk to Shesky. I would love to talk to him. You know, I wanted to talk to the guy that shot me at 7-Eleven. When they caught him, he told on himself, bro, why you do that? You know, people you don't survive. You want to know, bro, why you do that? You don't know me. That cop shot me, bro. Before cats started getting extended clips, cats in the hood wasn't even shooting people like that. Wouldn't even know enough hate in the hood for people to get shot 7 times. As he was shooting me, I was yelling, stop. I could feel the hate. Whatever he was mad about, I don't know if he hated me or he hated something, but I got a feeling that he'll never do nothing like that again, though, because it wasn't just him. He's not a single man. He got a family. I felt bad for his family, bro. I'm a family man. I told you, I do this. I'm like, man, his family is probably petrified. People saying they got his address and this and that and the third. I don't want nothing to happen to them. I really don't. I don't want nothing happening in my name. I don't want nothing to happen in my name. Do what you do. You ain't got nothing to do with me. But that's the type of person I am. I said that same thing about the guy that shot me at 7-Eleven. There's no difference.